Good afternoon. My name is William Watson. I'm a senior at the Bush School, a member of Cohort 11, and I'm proud to stand in front of you today and say that I am a Rainier Scholar.
Good afternoon. My name is Menbere. I am a graduate of Tufts University and a member of Cohort 5. I am proud to be a Rainier Scholar.
My story begins at Bailey Gatzer Elementary with my 5th grade teacher, Miss Rashid. She was one of the most influential teachers I've had in my life. Miss Rashid saw something in me that I had not yet seen in myself, and she made it her mission to make sure my talents did no longer go unseen. When I was 10, the goal was to simply graduate high school. My father had not, so in my eyes, I was simply reaching for the stars. The world around me made it clear that the only way for a young black boy to become successful was either to become a rapper or an athlete. My ability to dream was limited because historical setbacks and trauma had existed in my family for generations: drug addiction, gang affiliation, and incarceration. And I was just one step removed from a similar future.
I met William when he was just 11 years old. I was a student advisor for Cohort 11 in the academic enrichment phase. I was responsible for providing guidance and support to a group of bright, energetic 6th grade girls in an intensive 14-month experience. I learned a lot about their lives, their strengths, and their secret fears, and they learned about some of mine. What most people didn't know was that my mom had recently left our family. I tried to fill a vacancy and protect my father and siblings from the words of my community. I was juggling school, college prep, and work. I was only 16. My advisees and I survived the ups and downs with perseverance, lots of laughter, and the occasional tears. I witnessed remarkable resilience, quiet determination, and a growing confidence in their capabilities. And as every student advisor discovers, I saw myself in them.
The same was true for me as an advisor for Cohort 16. Honestly, there's something quite magical about reliving the 14 months for the second time. First of all, there's no homework. But most importantly, it becomes clear how much effort and care goes into making sure all scholars are having a positive experience. For the scientists in the room, the relationships created are similar to a covalent bond. And if you're not a scientist, just hear me out for a second. Every individual in the cohort represents an atom, each with a unique number of protons. Rainier Scholars is the catalyst, and the product is an unbreakable bond of 64 students. These relationships really last for a lifetime. My cohort mate, Miguel, and I are still living up to a pact we made when we were 12. Miguel was committed to becoming a doctor, and I was going to pursue law and policy. He told me he would be my doctor just as long as I would be his lawyer. 6 years later, we are here in this room together with a long list of college acceptances and important decisions to make about our future. Man, those middle school days feel oh so long ago.
While William was starting middle school, I was starting my senior year of high school. My college application process was a hot mess. I was the first in my family to attend college and the eldest in an immigrant, low-income household. You can imagine the kind of pressure there was to excel academically and to take every opportunity that was offered to me. The theory, if I did well, my siblings would follow suit. If I failed, we didn't talk about that. My two biggest challenges in the process were choosing the right schools, I applied to 13, and writing a personal statement for my college applications. Writing the personal statement was one of the hardest things I've ever done. I couldn't think past my mom's health, my dad's heartbreak, and my siblings' trauma. To me, it wasn't just my story to tell. It was my family's story, and it was filled with powerful emotions. Rainier Scholars provided me the guidance and support that I needed to tell and to own my story.
When I was 13, family circumstances led me to move out my mother's house and into my grandparents' home. Even though my father was not in my life, my grandfather has been an important influence since I was born. My first year as a teenager felt much like how I assumed adulthood would be. I realized I had to make decisions that would impact the rest of my life. I worked hard during my 8th grade year, trying to match my potential with focused effort. I applied to private school and earned acceptance at the Bush School. And that's where I began to flourish. It was an educational setting that matched my learning style, provided a rigorous college prep environment, and continued to build my leadership skills. I was stretched to think critically about who I am and who I want to be. And I've come to accept and understand that many spaces that I now occupy were not originally designed for me. But I know without a doubt, I definitely bring value to those spaces. I've gone from being the kid who was teased and picked on from being smart to accepting the fact that a nerdy environment is where I truly shine. Even now, when I'm looking at my college choices, it feels like I'm living someone else's life. I was reminded of this when I ran into a childhood friend and learned that he became a father at 16 and also has a probation officer. He's struggling to get by, and I know that's easily could have been me in my life.
As I waited to hear back from colleges, my world was filled with conflicting messages. There was immense pressure from my community to stay close to home. With your mom gone, why would you abandon your family now? There are so many great schools here. You should just stay and help your dad. My dad was very supportive throughout my entire college process, but he didn't know how to help me. He trusted Rainier Scholars to guide me through, entrusting his dreams for me and for my 2 younger siblings to the program. My college decisions came down to 3 choices: Emory, Barnard, and Tufts. My dad's advice was filled with loving wisdom. Make the right decision for you. My interest in medicine, combined with international relations, led me to explore the fields of public health and Africana studies at Tufts University. It didn't hurt that they gave me an amazing financial aid package. I walked onto the Tufts campus excited to take on this new challenge and perhaps to discover parts of me that I didn't even know existed. I wasn't ready for the weather. Thanks to Rainier Scholars, my dad was able to see my new campus and help me make my new home a new home. It was a little easier to say goodbye. Rainier Scholars was a champion for my success throughout college. Although I was miles away, they were closer than ever. One of my favorite parts of the year was when we would receive our care packages that I know many of you prepared. Now, for all of you who did not receive thank you letters, thank you on behalf of all college scholars, past and present. These packages remind us that we have many people in the Rainier Scholars community rooting for us.
I've got my first taste of independence was when I moved out to Washington, D.C. to attend the School for Ethics and Global Leadership. Each morning I would wake up, and outside of my dorm was the United States Capitol building. Being so close to the heart of politics and power in our world reminded me of the importance of the decisions we make, the impact we seek to have on others, and the importance of being a global citizen. Whether I end up studying law, policy, or business, I know that I'm committed to opening doors for opportunity to others like me. I think I've always been skeptical at heart. I'm cautious, I observe. I don't want to repeat my parents' mistakes. My grandfather and I have this unspoken understanding. He speaks through a series of nods and looks sometimes. He's not an emotional man. In fact, I've only seen him cry once. But I know he sees in me the dreams he had for his son, and I will not disappoint him. Rainier Scholars taught me what it means to be epic. EPIC stands for excellence, perseverance, integrity, and courage, the 4 core values of the program. I could have settled, but I wanted to strive for more and become an example of Black excellence. Although I faced many trials and tribulations, I always persevered. I was able to figure out who I was when I was young, and I vowed to never compromise my integrity because my identity means too much to me. But this was only feasible because Rainier Scholars provided a space for people like you to come together and believe in me. And now I definitely have the courage to believe in myself.
In May 2017, I graduated college and became a Rainier Scholars alum. I can never repay the sacrifices, love, patience, and guidance of my family and so many others. I felt immense pride from reaching this milestone. To my advisees, who I met at 11 years old, and who are now in this room wearing their college sweatshirts, getting ready to venture to colleges around the country, thank you for inspiring me. As I start my career, I am committed to the leadership aspect of our mission. As a member of the Fortis Society, a community of young leaders from around the world who share humble beginnings but expansive visions, we embrace the idea that our network is our net worth. And together, we strive to develop the solutions to the world's most challenging problems, including literacy, healthcare, and environmental sustainability. I believe to whom much is given, much is expected in return. I stand on the shoulders of many who came before me, and I hope to inspire that spirit in those who come after me. Thank you.